Speaking of marijuana, Rand Paul is calling Jeb Bush a hypocrite with regard to marijuana. The Boston Globe chronicled Jeb Bush's marijuana use during high school, and Jeb Bush opposes the use of marijuana for medical or recreational purposes. Rand Paul said, quote, "This is a guy who now admits he smoked marijuana, but he wants to put people in jail who do. You would think he'd have a little more understanding then." And in the Globe's report, Jeb Bush did acknowledge some experimentation with marijuana when he was at Phillips Academy in Andover, Massachusetts, a very expensive elite boarding school. Quote, "I drank alcohol and I smoked marijuana when I was at Andover. It was pretty common." A former classmate of Jeb Bush's recalls the first time that Jeb Bush got really stoned. Quote, "He had a portable stereo with removable speakers. He put on Steppenwolf for me." Another classmate described Jeb Bush as a toker. Now, Jeb Bush has described his experimentation when he was younger as stupid and wrong, and he's opposed to efforts to weaken marijuana laws. Is he a hypocrite, Lewis?
I don't know. I guess that would depend on his motivations for not wanting medical marijuana or recreational marijuana. But if he stopped, if he no longer does it, if he it truly believes that he was just being a young, foolish kid, then no, I don't think he was a hypocrite.
Rand Paul says, "I think that's the real hypocrisy, is that people on our side, which include a lot of people who made mistakes growing up, admit their mistakes now, but still want to put people in jail for that. Had Bush been caught at Andover, he'd have never been governor. He'd probably never have a chance to run for the presidency." Let's forget for a second about the personal hypocrisy, right? Which is Bush's personal marijuana experimentation with his view today about marijuana legalization. Doesn't anyone who wants pot to remain illegal while insisting alcohol and cigarettes should remain legal, isn't that the real hypocrisy we should be focusing on?
I think there's tons of hypocrisy we should be focusing on. It's everywhere. It's totally rampant. But everyone has their focus.
I wonder if this will become an issue in potential debates, because remember that in the past, we've heard from different presidential candidates about what drugs they did. George W. Bush did a bunch of drugs and was an alcoholic, and he became president. So I think that there's another layer of hypocrisy, which is when we get to asking the candidates about their personal histories with drugs, there's a double standard there where even the pro-family values, whatever they call themselves, conservatives, still were okay with George W. Bush. Now, I wonder if that's because he was born again, Lewis, and he's considered a completely different person by evangelical Christians. I don't know how much of a factor that was, but we need to remember that when we analyze and scrutinize these individuals' histories.
Well, it's kind of like rooting for your favorite sports player. You know, you like your quarterback no matter what he does, no matter what he gets charged with. You're like, oh, you know what? That's my quarterback. That's my guy. I think it's the same with politicians.